Conflict in an open source project is not always a bad thing. How so? What distinguishes a good conflict from a bad conflict? Well, conflict occurs when there are divergent opinions on an approach or an idea, and in a healthy project these conflicts of opinion should result in a healthy debate between participants, disagreement where an effort is made to fully understand and actively listen to others, a difference of opinion that can bring new perspective or ideas, and constructive criticism and code reviews that make the project better overall. On the other end of the spectrum, a conflict should be considered bad when it involves personal attacks, when harmful or disrespectful language is used, when violent behavior is present or implied, and if any activity violates the code of conduct. We need to handle both these types of conflicts differently, and to help illustrate the differences in practice, I want to walk through several examples within the context of the Wired Espresso example project. But soon after, we can see someone else has left a comment. Let me introduce Spicy Pumpkin, a fictional user who will play the part of our spicy conversation starter throughout these demos. The first instinct when seeing a comment that opposes your idea might be to get defensive. If you find yourself feeling that way, try asking a question instead. We want to get at the why, since Spicy's comment doesn't really give a specific reason. Try not to mix your question with another statement that tries to argue for your position. Just ask and try to listen. We can't be sure of the motivation behind Spicy's misgivings yet. Okay, this is it, friends. We have discovered the heart of Spicy's opposition. It actually stems from a misunderstanding about how Prettier is integrated into the contribution workflow. Here's an example of what I would write in response. First, I'd start with acknowledging Spicy's valid concern. We don't want to add any unnecessary overhead. Then I'm going to clarify that Prettier can run automatically on the pre-commit hook, and I'll include a link to the documentation page that covers that feature. Then I'll also provide some supporting evidence in the form of terminal output to show what contributors can expect to see. Finally, I'll address Spicy's original concern directly and explain why running automatically shouldn't add extra overhead. Feeling pretty good about our comment, we head over to browse another tab or site, but when we come back, we see this comment Spicy has left. He says, I still don't get why we need this. People can just follow our code style guide. Shrug. Okay, that's frustrating. Now I'm going to give Spicy a piece of my mind. Hold on. Okay, wait a minute, hold on. Take your hands off the keyboard. Sometimes it's just best to take a break and cool down. When you feel the heat rising, that's a sign whatever you're about to type probably shouldn't see the light of day. Throughout this video, we leveraged several tactics while dealing with a conflict. Now there are no hard and fast rules here, only suggestions that depend on the situation. If someone is offering an opposing viewpoint and your first instinct is to be defensive, instead try asking more questions. Understand what it is the individual is trying to say. Be an active listener. Now I absolutely understand sometimes that things may get a bit heated, and when you have the urge to type out all your thoughts immediately, that's exactly when you might need to take a step back. Take a deep breath, go for a walk, come back to it later. When you take your mind off it, coming back might provide some new information or will allow you to ask more questions without unintentionally escalating to a bad conflict. If a comment directed at you seems personal, reread it a few times to see if it contains anything personal or if it's directed at your ideas. Remember, you are not your code. Constructive feedback or even curt feedback in a healthy project should be focused on the ideas and code. If you find yourself needing to defend your ideas, which is a common spot to be in, try to provide specific use cases of whichever user will benefit from the change or idea, be it other developers, business users, or customers. Finally, many times a change or idea you have will go in a different direction. That's okay. It's important to realize and accept this. The goal is not to win the argument. Winning in this case means the project moves forward together.